Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome to a new episode of the Lux Saigon podcast. We welcome back Vito Da Costa. I know this dude since third grade back in Virginia. Even though right now we live on opposite sides of this planet, we're still going through a similar journey. This, whatever you want to call it, spiritual awakening, ego death, skibbity, whatever. We're both experiencing this right now. It's really weird, but awesome. Basically, if you are into the book The Power of Now or spirituality in general, you will like this episode. And if you are into these topics, please hit me up because I want to meet you. I want to talk to you. And if you live in Saigon and you're into these topics, the power of now, spirituality, I plan to host meetings about these topics at the coffee shop next to the MRT, the new MRT at Van Tan Park in Saigon. This is in Bintan district. So hopefully see you around. Enjoy. Nice. Nice. So what's up, man? How's life?
Good, good. Just going, still going down this everlasting spiritual healing journey. It's just taking me deeper and deeper and deeper, and
Mm.
yeah, yeah. But it's great. I'm just digging out more and more of just trauma and just finding myself even more and more and more. So honestly, at the end of the day, it's a bitch, but I love it.
Yeah. Nice. And today you wanted to talk about fear, right?
Primarily, yeah, yeah. I think it would be good to address fear. Honestly, I think in general, I mean, yeah, mainly fear, but because I mean, fear is ultimately it's rooted in ego, and like I think just in general, we just got to keep the ego train like going with every conversation we have, because
Mm.
yeah, it really is such a powerful phenomenon that I think just people need to be constantly made aware of how much everything just ties to ego, including fear, being afraid of whatever,
Mm.
of any change, any big change in life. I think mainly it's the a big fear that people feel is the fear of uncertainty. Not having something like clear in front of them. Um, and at the end of the day, like I think that's just accepting that that's not meant to happen always in the world. We're not meant to know what's in front of us. So once we let go of that fear, we can just confront it better.
Cool. Wait, so what has motivated you to want to talk about fear?
Um, See, because I was really thinking about this like last week, but since then, like so many more things have happened that have like right now, just like I said, I've just been thinking about, just emotional attachments in general. So it's a little hard to remember exactly what I was going through like a couple of days ago
Well, you mentioned like
that
something about ego death, right?
yeah, I mean so one thing I've noticed, I guess one I don't know if you've noticed this, but one thing I've realized is that the ego keeps dying. In this process, it has to keep dying a little bit more and more and more. I at one point, before I thought it was just like one big like thing and boom.
Mm.
No, but it just keeps happening like more and more and more. The more you uncover about like whatever deep-seated traumas you have deep down, it just plunges you more and more and more
Mm.
into just yeah, just everything. Like ego is basically, it's tied to, me, our sense of identity,
Yeah.
and that has to just die. Like in die, when you say that has to die, when we say that has to like die, um, it just means you just have to let go of the fact that you have to let go of your attachment to the person you thought you always were in life,
Mm.
which is something scary. Like even when you say it, it sounds terrifying because it's like you're losing a part of yourself. When in reality, it's the opposite. You're gaining so much more.
Yeah.
you're losing a part of yourself that you didn't really even need in the first place.
Yeah. It's like you're losing what, like your avatar in a video game or something. Like
Yeah, I mean, essentially, like well, I mean, how would you how would you relate the two?
it just feels like life is almost like a video game. And then
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
like Nick was just my character in the game. And
Mhm.
I took Nick
Yeah,
so seriously. I took him so seriously, and like when somebody would say something mean to him, I would feel hurt about it. Like, but like it's just a character in a video game.
yeah, and he, well, yeah, go on.
No, no, I just imagine like what if I'm playing like a game online and someone's like, "Oh yeah, fuck you, Batman 27," and I'm like, "Oh God, that hurts. Jesus Christ."
And it's wild because you think like that's who I am. I'm the type of person that gets offended by that stuff,
Yeah, yeah,
that
right.
gets his feelings hurt. And yeah, and essentially this ego death is finding yourself truly is realizing that you is like the most fluid concept ever. You could wake up tomorrow being a completely different person based on like everything. We're only victim. I mean, not victims, but we're victims of just our circumstances in life, of everything we've experienced. That's how we're molded. So that it doesn't define us at all. Like our mistakes, the decisions we make in life, we can always grow, we can better from them. So yeah, why would we let those define us?
And also, like, we live in this time in history where it's normal for people to change their identities from this to that. Like, I even know someone who changes their identity daily from whatever this to that and back and forth. Like, every day they flip back to the other identity. So, like, what we are doing is something similar, but we're not really choosing a new identity. We're just unsubscribing from all of them.
Exactly. No, I love that. You're absolutely right, bro. Yeah, I love the way you just said that. And it's funny. I didn't even think of that, but yeah, especially now with people with people going transgender, discovering they'd rather identify with another gender. Yeah, it's essentially it's again, like you said, it's not exactly the same thing, but essentially you're feeling more comfortable like becoming somebody else, something else. So yeah, in that sense, if if at least those of us who are trying to who are making an effort to obviously accept, the transgender community and stuff, uh, why wouldn't we view this kind of change of
Uh,
identity the same way?
And like I guess like the other thing is like we're not gonna like we don't really care about the pronouns. Like like you don't have to call me nothing. Like no, you have to call me nothing or else I'm gonna get angry at you. Like that's just ego again, right? So like
Exactly.
we're not
It's
even
like
playing
who
that
I
game.
am. This is who I am. Like you have to call me who I identify as.
Yeah. Please call me nothingness. I will only be referred to as nothingness.
Yeah, like for me, it's like, I mean, for me, honestly, it's like, because I know other people are still very attached to that ego, and I understand it's super hard to get rid of that. Like, one thing I have been practicing recently is just understanding and compassion for just everyone who is still going through this. Everyone is on different paths of their healing journey. Everyone has experienced different traumas and stuff growing up. So, yeah, I mean, like I will call you whatever you want. If it makes you feel better, I will call you whatever you want. But also like I guess don't really blame me if I also try to just, open your mind up just a little bit, try to get you to just think a little more because, I mean that's what we do. That's what we coaches do, dude. Like so
Yeah.
yeah, and I feel like that's just natural now. But yeah, I will I am trying to be more understanding of people's like of their needs, of their own healing journey. So yeah, I'm trying to be more patient with that too, instead of just like getting all like, oh, like this is the way that everyone needs to be. It's
Mm.
where it worked for me, but maybe it won't work for somebody else. Maybe it will down the road, and they're still healing. So
Mm. I feel like this topic of healing and trauma has been like a reoccurring theme in the past month, or maybe even longer, I think. I think for me.
for me as well, yeah. What's it been like for you mainly? Like what's been your like experience with it? How are you handling it?
It seems like a lot of the trauma was also attached to the identity. Like I identified as someone who was hurt. Like I identified as a victim.
Yeah, see, that's the big one, just identifying as the victim, because I mean, we all go through hurt. Honestly, I think one of these things that I've been realizing is that hurt is necessary and inevitable in life. It just, in fact, it's necessary because you need to break through it to be able to get uh here, to be able to let go of this identity of your, because ultimately, like, what what's one of the big experiences in life that leads to your ego, like as a defense mechanism, in any shape or form. It's pain that we experience like at some point in our lives that shapes who we think we are. So we just have to confront it in order to let go of it, and ultimately just integrate it as like, this is part of what shaped who I am now, but it's not who I am, like, if that
Mm.
makes sense.
Sure, it helped me understand life, but at the same time, it's not me. So, like it helped me to understand this game, but still, that character is not me. I'm the one watching the character in the game.
Dude, yeah, actually, so I'm in see, I've just been thinking about so much these past few days, just sorting through all this. And yeah, just really just thinking about the concept of our inner child,
Mm,
and really just relating it now to not just our inner child, but the child we were back then. And
mm,
I'm realizing we back then, it's like as children, because of our innocence, because we weren't exposed to like any of the additional shit in today's society that just makes us more insecure, more fearful. We were at our purest back then. So, like, we knew what we wanted from our life back then. Uh, we lived with just happiness, freedom, and ultimately, I think we just have to get back to that. I think that's why so many therapists, mental health professionals do emphasize like getting in touch with your inner child, because that's who you were back then. You were a child back
mm.
then.
And so
So we just have to get in touch with that. Yeah.
like, how would you define the inner child?
How would I define your inner child? I, you know what? I think basically that your inner child is just it's like a remnant of the child you actually were back then, before before experiencing whatever negative experiences that might have caused trauma. um it's just it's that pure innocence. So one example, actually, I was thinking about this. You remember how one of the biggest questions, like, we were all asked as children, is what do you want to be when you grow up?
Mm,
And on it, and yeah, like, unless you said like a dinosaur or something like that, usually, if, like, as a child, whatever actual profession you said that you wanted to do, that is your heart's desire. Really, that is what you've always wanted to be, and that's what your inner child still wants. So work on getting that.
Mm.
That's why it's just working on getting that. Yeah, I think even now that I'm talking about it, I think it literally is just bringing back out your inner child, just integrating him, because yeah, like your inner child is everything. It's your deepest just desires that you had from the very start of your life that you just forgot about. Not just in terms of, the profession you wanted, what you wanted to do with your life, but just the joy you felt and the freedom, the innocence, like just that the love, you feel. Children, like, they feel such strong emotions. I've seen so many videos recently of like kids just kids are so much more prone to, like, not just negative emotions but even like positive emotions, like crying tears of joy, like because they're just more in touch with that innocence. We were all more in touch with that innocence back then, and just the simplicity and the purity of life, which obviously with everything that we're exposed to growing up. The needing a job, needing to go to school, needing to get well at school, you need to get good grades, and you need to get like make a good paycheck. The prestige, needing to be liked by everyone, all this shit, like it
That
ultimately we
was
just have to let go of it. Let go of it and get back in touch with the child that we were.
yeah. And then somehow manage to stay grounded when everybody around us is like, hey, why aren't you doing the things that we expect you to do? And then see how your inner child reacts in that moment.
And actually, now that you mentioned that, I think that's why one thing that I would just suggest to anybody that I had to learn myself as well is that's why I think manifestations, the big things that you want to manifest for your life, they are better left unspoken, because yeah, it's, if you just speak out like what you want out into the world, um people are just going to project whatever they want to project on you. Like if so I don't know if you remember Will Smith movie The Pursuit of Happiness.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a quote in that movie. So I don't know if the quote is like an original quote from Chris Garner, from the guy Will Smith was playing, or just like Will Smith in the movie. But there's me where he tells his kid, and he's Jaden Smith. I just remember that's but yeah, he's actually telling his actual son, which I love. But he tells him, uh, don't let anybody tell you you can't do something, including me. If people think they can't do something, then they want to tell you that you can't do it. And
Mm,
that's just it's a perfect example of how people, even not even thinking, they just unconsciously, due to their just own deep-seated insecurities, their
yeah.
traumas, their ego, their identity, um, they project that onto you, and they start saying, well, you got to be realistic. You got to, I mean, yeah, you got to be realistic, but like that doesn't mean limit yourself. Like you just have to, yeah, you just have to go for it. But I guess some people see somebody else just being authentic and going for what they want, and they get scared. Like,
Yeah.
oh, but what? So, but I'm not doing that. So, am I less of a person? And
Mm,
the answer is no. You're not any less of a person. You're just on a different part of your journey.
yeah.
And there are
Also,
things that you could do. Yeah.
like how and also how can somebody be more of a person or less of a person? Like even if someone like chopped off all our limbs right now, we wouldn't be less of a person. Like what does that
We're
even
still a
mean?
person.
Like
It's crazy, bro. Actually, this is something we can get into this right now, because it's something I actually just started thinking about today. Hold up. Uh, Okay. Um, yeah, like ultimately extremes I realized today, like they're irrelevant. Good, bad, wrong, right? Like being deserving of something, being undeserving of something. We've tied all these to identity, to like who we are. Like I am good, I'm bad, I am right, I am wrong. You are none of these things. The things you do are maybe right or wrong depending on the context, but that's not who you are. It doesn't define who you are because you could spend your whole life having made mistakes. Like growing up, I made so many mistakes and I'm rising above it in so many ways. So, what am I still the Vito that made mistakes before? If I've learned from them now, no, I'm a different person now.
Mm.
And I could be a different person tomorrow, next week, based on how much I keep growing.
Mm. I love how every society or every culture has their own way of measuring what a good person is. So like if every society and culture has their own way of measuring what a good person is and what actually is
Then what even is it?
a
Exactly.
good or a bad person.
Exactly. At the end of the day, it is all ego because ego is just something that all humans share, that pretty much all humans develop, just based, I keep realizing that more and more of it, just essentially everything is just tied back to our evolutionary roots. But that's the thing, it's tied back to our evolutionary roots, but we're not cavemen anymore living amongst living amongst like animals everywhere that could kill us. We're a modern society now, it's not that dangerous. It's just we make it dangerous in here because we're afraid to face it.
And it's trippy when I see like videos of other apes, like chimpanzees or gorillas and stuff, and like you can see like whoever is friends with the alpha, they get access to food and water and sex and stuff. But if you're not friends with the alpha, then you're left to die. So it's like, are we still behaving like other primates?
And at the end of the day, the majority of people, we are because that's what it is. It's especially since we are such social creatures. That's how we evolved. We needed to before back way back then we needed, yeah, back then we needed to be a part of a specific group to feel safe. It's like a gang too, like get gang mentality. Like if I'm with this group, I feel safe. And to stay a part of this group, I have to become, this is who I am. I have to adopt all the beliefs. Otherwise, they're gonna reject me, and and they're gonna throw me out, and I'm gonna be outside of that, and I'm not gonna know who I am anymore.
Hmm. It's like a survival mechanism, right? I feel like dogs
Yeah,
also have that, but not wolves. Or I guess dogs have that, but in regards to humans, like it's like dogs, they feel safe when they have the acceptance from the humans. I guess they
exactly.
evolved that way.
Exactly. No, but I mean that's the thing. Wolves, like at the end of the day, wolves do. They have that pack mentality. Like
Mm.
a lot of animals, yeah. It's just stay close to the pack, follow the leader, one person who tells everybody what to do, and that's how. And yeah, and now we follow that mentality. And for us, it's like, oh well, that's how society moves along. Um, but who told you that it can't be different, that it can't be better? Like, who told you that? Whoever told us that that's all there is in life? It's just that's safe. That's you staying in your safe zone, in your comfort zone. But you can always evolve beyond that. We've evolved so much since like from back and from millions of years ago. So why not just keep evolving? This is what evolving is as a human. Like, so let's just keep doing it.
Like I thought evolution was endless. So like, why are we stopping?
Exactly. Exact. Bro, dude, I love that, bro. Like, why are we fucking stopping? Like, there's no reason to stop. Like, I think, well, this is my opinion. Honestly, I think humanity's purpose, inherent purpose, is to evolve, to continue evolving,
Mm.
and just to the point where we can just live life harmoniously. You know, what's funny? It's like when you talk about like a utopia, like everything just perfect, what if the way to achieve this utopia is to shed this ego so we can get to a point where we are just living our life like just viewing the interconnectedness in everyone, which will in turn lead us to love each other more and love ourselves more. And then everything goes well. There's no hate, there's no anger anymore. So that's probably what if it's that?
Like what you
We're
just
just we're
described
it's
right
like
now, like what you just described, that's the book New Earth.
really.
Yeah. Or basically like the book then like a new Earth is like imagine if suddenly everybody woke up from like let's say like everyone experienced ego death, what would the world look like right now? That's the book basically.
I think, yeah, and I think the answer is a fucking utopia, the utopia evolving because we're living, because by that point we would all be living in a world where literally every single person is just is just as invested in helping others as they are in helping themselves. Like, because we're all one, we all see each other as one at that point. There's no more identity. Like this is me and anything different is just foreign. I don't like it. Like that literally that's the mentality that is holding all of us back.
This I feel like it's hard to maintain a utopia like that just because the the path of ego death is I feel like humans haven't learned how to be consistent with it. That even I've seen some people experience
Absolutely.
really deep awakening moments and then they were like, "Oh my God, I'm enlightened now."
Mhm. And then they stop because they think they have it figured out. It's a
All right.
constant process, dude. It's
I
a
want to ask you that
constant process.
like what makes like even think like for an individual like what makes an individual stop evolving?
Um, well, it's definitely a couple of things. It's not just one thing. One of those things is what you just said. Like, it's literally just thinking that you have it all figured out, thinking, oh, I've reached a
Um,
point where I'm enlightened, and I yeah, I just have it figured out. I'm thinking right now. I mean, I don't want to mention like who exactly, but I have someone in my family who uh who literally is in that position where they were doing like they were becoming very, very enlightened in their life. And I think they hit a point where, something happened, they experienced a failure, and and I think that's what contributed to them thinking, well, just subconscious, not even consciously, subconsciously, their subconscious mind told them, well, this is fine. You don't need to do anymore. Maybe because if you do more, maybe you'll fail again. So you know what you know now, and you're enlightened enough. But but no, it's an ever growing process. We're evolving, like we're constantly evolving.
hmm. Yeah, I interviewed somebody on this podcast a few months ago that if you check her Instagram right now, she says that she is the rebirth of Jesus Christ.
I, I'm gonna be totally honest. There is a lot of ego behind that statement.
Dude,
There is incredibly like that is extreme ego.
and
But
the
you
thing
know
is,
what? Yeah, I'm not.
She was really good at describing what ego is. She was really good at describing what a how spirituality can make someone's ego increase. but it's like she never. It's like she was talking about somebody else, not about herself. Like that's how those people are like.
Mhm. Yeah, and that's what's so tricky about it too. It's like you yeah, because you can hear some people speak enlightenment, and yeah, at the end of the day, they are telling you like there's what they are sharing their knowledge and wisdom with you, and in many ways, a lot of the wisdom they're sharing is valid. Um, but they've also lacked the mentality that they need to keep going, that it's not done like just there. Um, and that's why I think it's just, we, especially people like that who have taken it upon themselves to actually guide others. I think people like that, we have just a huge social responsibility to continue healing ourselves, because the more we heal ourselves, the better we can guide other people. It's like we're guiding ourselves at the same time.
Mm.
But part of ego could be, yeah, for people like that could be thinking, no, i'm right I'm right, and you all should listen to me. Like that's really, at the end of the day, like that's where it's rooted in for people like that. It's like, I'm right. I've already accumulated so much knowledge, and all you should listen to me because I'm where I am. And honestly, this was something that even I was feeling until maybe a couple of months ago. Um, and I just said I had to confront it and say that no, like I'm not, like, me being right or wrong, it's irrelevant. I'm just sharing my wisdom. I'm just sharing my wisdom. And uh, if it helps you, that's awesome. And if it doesn't, um, I mean, it is what it is. Like maybe somebody else will help you down the road, hopefully, or maybe you will decide to come back and ask me for advice. Like, either way, the important thing is that hopefully that person knows that they just need to be growing. But it's not about imposing your, like, trying to be right and like just saying, yeah, this. It's not about like making people think, like, trying to put it into words. Um, it's that we just have to stop like imposing like what we know. Like, again, like, you should listen to me. Who says that anyone has to listen to what you have to say? Who
Mm.
says?
And also, who wants to be listened to?
Exactly.
It keeps going
Like,
back to that like, every time. Like, who who wants to be heard, or who wants that valid, like, yeah, attention, the validation of being heard.
exactly. And you know what? That's rooted in ego and fear at the end of the day as well. Like, just um yeah, it is validation seeking, wanting to be heard.
Mm.
Eventually, yeah, you should be able to get to a point where it's like, who cares? Who cares who listens
Exactly.
to me or not? And bro, that's something I'm actually still dealing with. That's something I've really been working through the past month, because just due to my own traumas and issues as a child, I actually grew up with a strong desire for wanting to be heard and wanting to be right in a situation, because just I made a lot of mistakes growing up, and like as a kid I was constantly told that just I was wrong, and that for me that manifested in an identity that wanted to constantly just
Mm.
be right. I was always just thinking about being right in any situation. And now it's curious now, and now I'm actually at a point in my life where I am like actually able to like convince a lot of people, and just I mean, just at least get people to listen to what I'm saying. And seriously enough, it's like, great, that's awesome, but like, that's not validation that I need anymore.
Right? It's so
And
funny that like you get the validation once you stop caring about getting the validation.
And it's, bro, what's wild is it's not just validation. This is the thing you realize with everything, with so many things in life. It's the biggest like paradox in the universe. You get shit, you get the shit you wanted before, you always wanted when you stop wanting it.
That,
And it's so weird. It is so weird. And it sometimes it's frustrating, but it's the way it is. It's the way it is.
yeah, that's how attraction works. Or some say that that's how manifestation works too.
Yeah.
Oh, one thing before I forget, like we were talking about what makes an individual stop evolving, and then you said like when they think they know it already, right? Like when they think they already have the answers. But then okay, so now I have to ask you, what is the scientific name for humans?
Uh it's Homo sapiens, isn't it?
And what does sapiens mean?
That I don't know. Or I forgot at least.
It means the wise one. We've labeled
Really?
ourselves as the wise one. So it's like no shit, we've stopped evolving. We already thought we were wise.
Wow, bro. Yeah. Yeah, that's yeah. Yeah, that's definitely something to think about for sure. Yeah, that's wild.
Douchebag. It's
Yeah,
those douchebags
because
throwing that label.
the
And now we're all, oh yeah, shit, we're the wise ones.
yeah, because the name Homo sapiens, we discovered that name. We came up with
Exactly.
that name.
We labeled ourselves the wise ones. So like
And it's funny,
someone mentioned like maybe like we'll the next evolution of humans is like they're labeling it as homo conscious. Now we'll be conscious that we're homo.
yeah, I mean, well, at the end of the day, bro, that's what we should be. We all just need to be conscious of exactly of just everything that not the identity, but everything that just a human is.
Mm.
Because that's what we all are. We all are humans. We're all we're all the wise ones. Like,
It's like Dragon Ball Z. It's like,
but
not even my final form. Oh, next level, bromosexual.
but now think about this, bro. Like, what if true wisdom is knowing that you have to keep evolving and keep growing?
But then also my next question is also like, and for what? What are we evolving for? Like, what is this game even happening?
And that's when you get into like people who think like that usually, yeah, that's when you get into more like a nihilistic mindset, like existential nihilism, just the idea that, oh, like uh like that life is inherently meaningless, that there's no actual meaning to life. um which at the end of the day, it's just us trying to yeah, people like that, it's just accepting that I choose to accept that at the end of the day, we don't know. Like, we don't
We
really
don't know.
know,
We don't.
but we can choose to evolve because we want to be better versions of ourselves.
Mm,
That's why I choose to evolve, because I want to be the best possible version of myself. Like,
mm,
I want to be able to accomplish everything I want to accomplish with just being able to and not being able to be not being held back by my fears, by anything. Uh just evolving, just being the best version of myself. That's what I want.
mm.
So that's why I'm evolving.
Damn. Like now that I think about it, like the reason why I want to evolve is that when I evolve, I become more compassionate. So then I wonder, like, so I can be even more compassionate than this, like genuinely compassionate, not like fake nice, but like genuinely compassionate. Like, okay, so then I want to keep evolving them just for that purpose. Like, I don't know why the universe exists. I don't know why this video game is happening right now, but I'll just play this game of evolving into somebody more compassionate because I don't know what else. Like, I don't know what else it is.
Yeah, but that's great. If you don't know what, I feel like I'm at the same spot. Like, that's great. If we don't know what else to do, I mean, we're at least we know deep down that we're on the right track. So that's all we need to know.
It's like, what is the other option? Like to step on people in order to climb some kind of like ladder that is created by humans inside of this video game? Like, is that the other option? Like to step on
Yeah, yeah.
people's heads to just to get ahead in some game, or to just be more
Mhm.
compassionate. And and I guess if you want to play the game, that's okay, but just keep in mind it's a game.
Exactly. And in keeping that in mind, the biggest thing is don't step on those who are actually trying to evolve for their own reasons, right? Um, and yeah, that's why I think it's very important to make people at least aware of this, that like if you can do what you want with your life, obviously we can't control any I can't control anybody's actions. Everybody's on their own part of their healing journey. But uh but just you know what? Even now that I'm thinking, it's like, who cares about making people aware? Like, I don't even care about that. Like, I do, I would like that. That would be nice to more people to become aware of this because we would become more cohesive. But you know, I mean, the reality is that people are dealing with their own hurt and their own traumas,
Hmm.
so they have to. We have to give them, like you said, that compassion and in evolving, we get more of that compassion, and that compassion becomes, you know, just understanding that uh, people need their own level, their own time to heal and get on this journey.
Hmm. Yeah, we can't even rush anybody. It's like trying to rush a flower into blooming, and then when you do that, you fucking break it.
And the thing is, what I realized is in wanting to rush people, that's also fucking ego. That's you
Exactly.
thinking that you have some right to to tell somebody that they need to change. Who are you to tell somebody that they need to change?
Mm.
No, they people will healing and change, positive change. It comes when somebody else is ready for it, not based on whatever you think
Mm.
people should be.
Jeez, man. Now that we're talking about this, like when I think about healing now, it feels different than before. Because before I would think like healing is like you find a wound and then like you fix the wound and shit. But like now it feels like healing is almost feels like when a snake sheds its skin, it's just like dropping that old you.
Yeah,
It's
no,
not
that's
even so much as like healing the wound you have in your neck. It's just like just like unzipping yourself and like dropping it.
yeah, it's literally it's like just yeah, like shedding. Yeah, any animal who sheds is like peeling away the layers of an onion. It's an ongoing process. You just peel more and more and more and more, and that's what's scary. Like is you have to keep going deeper and deeper and deeper. It's scary, but and you know, I was about to say it's necessary, but you know, it's necessary. I feel like it's necessary for me. That's it. That's all you can say.
Mm.
Um, hopefully yeah, you know, it's hard not to think that, you know, like just everybody would like just generally be happier with this mentality, because I personally think they would, but I'm also like, who am I to say? I don't know what other people have gone through. Like, I don't know what traumas you face that may just make it significantly more difficult for you to confront those traumas and like heal. So we just need to be understanding of things like that. And so at the end of the day, it's just focusing on, you know, this is why I'm choosing to evolve. Like because I just want to be the best version of me and I want to be able to help people to maybe see a different perspective. And if they don't, they don't. It's if they don't, it's because whatever they're not ready. They're still a little scared. They're still insecure for any number of reasons.
Mm.
But the whole thing is focusing on the intent, right? The intent, the actual action of wanting to just help others, not the outcome of them finally healing because of the help you gave them. No, it's just the action. Uh, Help other people because it's what you feel you want to do.
Mm. And also before we go, like we talked a lot about like ego is not us, like we are not the ego. So who are we?
Who are we? Um, my answer to that question is a very like spiritual one, which is we're all hu our bodies are just a shell. I mean, from a purely spiritual perspective, which is how I'm answering this question, just because, like, I'm just more in touch with my spirituality. Our bodies are just shells. We're energy. We're divine beings, all of us, all of us. And when you think of that, it makes more sense, I think, to me to think of the fact that we are all one because we are all this collective energy. This our bodies are just what it's like they're our vessels. Like our body, in fact, maybe you could say that our bodies are the avatars.
Right, yeah.
Yes, our avatars physically manifest, the avatars that we created for ourselves physically being manifested uh, in this world. But what we are at our core, we're all the fucking same. We are all the same. We're all the same, just energy that just that gives off positive or negative energy and then receives whatever it gives off. Um, but we're all just energy at the end of the day. We're all connected. Um, it's funny to think that I think maybe yeah, the identity that we built is what makes us feel so separate from each other because
Right.
I'm this and you're that and we're different.
It's like people say like be realistic, but it's like what is reality? Isn't reality just whatever you think it is? Like I mean, no, I mean like just whatever you think reality is how it's gonna feel. So if you feel if if you believe that you are separate from the rest of the world, then it's gonna feel like that.
That one thing I always say is if you think if you go around your like life just thinking life sucks, then it does for you.
Wish granted.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't mean it sucks for anybody else. Because yeah,
Right.
you can look at people just super happy and living authentically. Do you think they say life sucks? No, they love life.
Right. But then if you're walking around with that perspective of life sucks and you see happy people, you might be like, oh, these stupid assholes, they think everything is so happy. They don't know how bad this sucks.
Yeah, that or they might think, oh, well, they're it's an anomaly. They're just super lucky. They got super lucky. That's not how the world actually is. But who are you to say what the world is actually like? Like,
Yeah.
did did you make the world? Like, did you design the world in people? Like, are you God? Like, like who are you to actually say what the world is actually like?
One of my favorite questions of all time is, what is actual reality?
Reality perception is reality. Reality is perception. It's what we perceive it to be. Um, it's just the human ego gets tied into that, and again, that's how we form these identities. And we think our identities, these avatars, become our reality. That's who we think we are, and yeah, it's just transcending that, like transcending that ego, realizing that no, it's not. It's not who you are. Like uh, who you, it's funny. It's like who you are. It kind of makes me want to go back to the topic of like your inner child. Like,
Uh,
um, but then again, but now I start thinking like your inner child was that an identity? Was that a separate identity that you
exactly.
built as well?
I feel like whenever I do inner child healing, if I have healed a specific part of my inner child, that part of him now is gone. It's like it's like that child grew up and now it's gone. And then maybe I have like another part of my inner child from a different age that maybe is still hurt. Then after I tend to that part and that's healed, now that part of me is also gone. So then that makes me think, so what is the inner child? Is it just my nervous system?
Yeah, it's weird because now I'm remembering, now I'm thinking back to one of the exercises my therapist used to we used to practice, which is essentially like because it was a lot, it was like a lot of inner child work, but she would say visualize yourself at these different points of your life. Like you're now first visualize your inner child as a child, and then visualize them as the teenager who made mistakes, so you can confront that. And so yeah, maybe at the end of the day, our inner child is just it's not actually like the child, it's just our essence. Like it's who we like truly, it's what we truly are just as just energies that were brought into this world in
Hmm.
a human skin suit, basically. It's funny, it's like we're shapeshifters, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like now more than before, I feel like that my inner child is also an illusion. But I still have to be compassionate to whatever remains of it. I don't want to be an asshole and be like, you're not even real. Ha, 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 ha. Like I'm gonna actually like if some pain from the past comes up, I will tend to it because bypassing doesn't even work.
And you know what? I think I just I think I just got an answer to that question you just asked. What if our inner child? What if it is just our traumas, the experiences that shape us
Hmm.
into becoming the identity that we formed? What if that is our inner child? And that's what we always need to tend to and be compassionate with, because yeah, we can't. The worst thing we can do is criticize ourselves and say, "Oh, you were wrong for making these mistakes back then."
Mm.
You weren't wrong. You were just hurting for whatever reason, or whatever happened to you, and it's just the way. It's just the way your environment and your experiences shaped you. But
Yeah, it just feels like destiny
is
almost.
yeah.
It's like it couldn't have gone any other way. So like, and I mean, like
I mean,
in 2023, I had so much guilt to the point of suicidal thoughts. So like, it's been really helpful to, yeah, to process like where actions come from, like why did I do certain things, and then looking at it now, it's like I think that it couldn't have happened any other way. So like,
oh, yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I believe in destiny fully, like completely, completely. Yeah, and also like think about it, like where would you be if you hadn't, if you hadn't confronted that back then? Like, who would you be now? You would still probably be stuck in this cycle. So at the end of, so one of the big things also tied into this, I think, is just gratitude as well. Like
mm,
I think that's a big part of it's also a big part of just this whole ego death, just surrendering to, divine timing and just destiny in general. One of the big things we need to really understand and cultivate in order to truly evolve this way is gratitude. Just be thankful even for our traumas, because without those traumas, we wouldn't have had anything to heal from and become this better version of ourselves.
that I mean, and also luckily we haven't had like major trauma. I mean, at least I haven't. Just like emotional
And
neglect. Yeah.
exactly that's essentially that's like yeah. Well, but that's the whole thing, right? That's why we need to practice compassion, because there are so many people that have experienced even more significant trauma. Kids have been abused as children, like physically and sexually abused, like which is unimaginable. Like I can't imagine like the pain that you would have to confront to deal with that. So yeah, and we did not, fortunately, we did not experience anything like that. So that's the thing, everyone is on a different place of their journey,
Mm.
due to the traumas, the types of trauma that they experience in life.
Hmm. Yeah, one of my good friends, he he went to like a men's gathering workshop where men can come together to be vulnerable and heal. And then my my friend blurted out, trauma is not real.
What? Right there? No, now I'm curious, what was the response?
He said it felt like he said it felt like he was in a room where people suddenly pulled out a bunch of knives and stuck it to his neck. He said it kind of felt like that. That everybody that they were all like, "What the fuck?"
I mean, oh, because I mean, yeah, that's not really something you should be doing because it's like, because that negates the whole concept of like healing. And not only that, it's just you're in a, in that environment, everyone's coming together to heal. And a statement like that, I think, kind of just dismisses like and the intention that's going on there, like the what's going on. It's like, first of all, I'm curious now, how exactly. Like I don't know. Was he being serious or joking? Because
He's
I'm
being serious.
wondering, like,
Like he was being serious.
how is, but how would he explain that trauma is not real?
I think I would have to ask him that. I think it's because
I
like maybe he hasn't experienced much trauma in his life, so then I think it's easy for him to say that. I don't know.
I mean, the thing for me, so at one point in my life, I thought trauma, I didn't think I had experienced trauma because I thought trauma was like the really, really serious shit, like, being abused as a child or just being abandoned. Uh, um, I thought that was trauma, but trauma takes on so many different shapes. You and I have gone through trauma as children. Um, so many people have gone through trauma, even if they don't think it's actual, like, you know, that's the identity also. That's the ego thinking that, oh, like I haven't gone through trauma because I haven't suffered the way this person has. But you still experience suffering in your own way, just not to the extent that other people have. But yeah, and like when you're confronted with that, it's like, why are you comparing yourself to someone else?
Hmm.
Like everyone has gone through a different experience in life. So why are you comparing your level of pain and suffering that you've gone through to somebody else? Of course, there are people that have gone through a lot more pain and suffering than you have in life. And there are a lot of people like that haven't experienced that much pain and suffering in life, as much as you have. So in that sense, in that sense, we are who we are in this physical world is different. But now I'm thinking about back to the part of me that just said we're all the same. It's weird. It's like who we are on the outside is different, but who we are on the inside is the same.
Yeah.
It's weird. Like my brain is starting to hurt right now. I feel like
Yeah, we've had different experiences, but at the core, we are the same thing. Like the one who was experiencing life is the same, but the experiences can differ.
exactly because we were brought into this world the same. We were all brought into this world exactly the same. Um, and then shit, but now I'm thinking about, like babies who were actually born. Well, like me, for instance, I was born with my neurological condition, my oculomotor apraxia. That's something I was born with since birth. That's something I came out of the womb with already. So, but again, it's you come back to the same thing, just energy wise, like we are all this, we all have the capability. I mean, I think that's it. We all have the potential to be good people, to love each other,
Mm,
because that's who maybe that's who we were meant to be. And you go, well, now I'm thinking back to your question about, what's the purpose of evolving.
mm.
Maybe it's that. Maybe it's just to get back to that place. What if it's just it's a
Yeah,
cycle? What if it's just to get back to where we once were?
yeah,
Like I was
connect
just
back to our default state,
mhm, exactly.
trying to evolve to the original state.
Exactly. No, but it makes sense, right? Because there's so much shit happens in this external world that takes us off the path and just makes us get completely lost. See, like one thing I really one I concept I really like about like healing is that I'm learning is that healing is not linear. It's not a straight path. You can go up and down, back again, jump straight back, be stuck for a while.
Mm,
Like it's not linear. So that's why it's literally it's not a straight path.
mm,
It's a path, but it's not a straight one. Like
mm.
it's not. It's almost like I'm envisioning like we're just walking around the entire planet just to get back to the same spot, the
Yeah,
same
right.
exact spot,
Awesome.
confronting all the obstacles, the oceans, and everything.
Also, like it makes me think a little bit about like the charts and like a trading. I don't know what you call this, like in like the stock market charts, how it is zigzags up and down like this. Like it's never like a straight line. It's always zigzagging.
Because and yeah, as well with that and no, but now I'm attributing it to like in like a heart monitor at a hospital, just a beep,
Um,
boop, boop, it just
yeah.
keeps going down. That's your heart beating. Um, so yeah, it's and yeah, because I've become a lot more spiritual, this is one thing I actually do like thinking about every now and then, is that there's so many just physical representations in this world of that, like of a non-linear path, because that's just what life is. It's
Mm,
not a straight path. You can go up, down, yeah, stay stuck where you are. You can take steps back, and if you take a step back, then you're even further back, and now it may even take even longer to get to where you want, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't stop doing it. Keep doing it, like because eventually you will. It might take you significantly longer or significantly shorter than it may for somebody else, because it's your path. It's nobody else. Everybody's on their own path. And I think that's what humanity is like in this world as we exist. It's again getting ourselves back to that one point. But human life is built for all of us to experience just a different path. And I
mm,
think that's where compassion comes in. Um, because I think that's another part of ego. It's like thinking that someone should be on the same path, on this at the same pace as you, or you should be going at the same pace as somebody else.
right. Ego is like division, like separation.
Mhm. Like, why exactly do you think that like you should be at the same pace as somebody else? It's because you're comparing. Like, you want to be where they are, or you don't want to be where somebody is when they're like further back. And in that sense, maybe you might even feel a sense of superiority deep down. It's like, oh, like I'm better, I'm smarter for being further along the path than this person. And I'm lesser than for not being as far on the path than that person.
Right. Backing
And
you.
it's that. And but that's the ego that just fucks with you completely.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, it's just a poison that just builds and builds and builds until it's controlling you instead of you just dominating it and just letting go of all the negativity that comes with that ego.
Mhm. That's true, bro. Yo, man. So I gotta head out now, bro. But let's do this again. I think I
Great
actually
talk, yeah.
I needed this conversation too.
Yeah, for sure. No, I like pretty much at the end of all our conversations. Like now, yeah, I just feel like it's just been so crucial, like to yeah, for my next step in my healing journey. Like really, it's just we're just going down the rabbit hole together and just
Yeah.
expand. Yeah, like I feel like I need you, bro, to really, yeah, to make me think about certain shit.
I think we're helping each other a lot.
Absolutely.
All right,
Well, awesome, bro. Take care, man.
you bromosexual. Peace, man.
Peace, man. Take care.